A Different World may have started as a spin-off of The Cosby Show, but it ended up becoming something so much more. It was the highest-rated television pilot in history when it first hit stations, and the American sitcom ran for 6 seasons. During its time on the air, it covered several important topics that The Cosby Show didn't. Things like the Rodney King trial, sexual assault, and the Equal Rights Amendment. The show really lived up to its name. It presented an entirely different world than the one imagined in The Cosby Show, one that was much more realistic.
Is this an auction?
But Season 2 of the show was also an entirely different world from Season 1.
This is between Ron and his daddy.
Though the show was originally spun off for Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable, some major life events shook things up and threw other cast members into the spotlight. I know you're busy, you have responsibilities, but still, you might find yourself wondering from time to time, where did the cast members of A Different World end up anyway? Why did Lisa Bonet end up leaving? Without further ado, let's find out.
Whatever it is, I will love it.
Jasmine Guy is perhaps the most well-known member of A Different World cast. She was 25 when she starred as Whitley Gilbert Wayne, the new Season 2 lead of the show after Lisa Bonet's departure. The role won her 4 NAACP Image Awards in a row for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. You may not know, though, that she tried to quit the show after Season 1. She felt that Lisa Bonet had been disrespected in front of the audience, and in a show of solidarity, she almost left. Since then, she's had several iconic roles that younger audiences might recognize her in. Grams Bennett in The Vampire Diaries, a stint as a guest role on Grey's Anatomy, and Queen Ava in the PBS kids show Cyber Chase. Her film debut came in 1988's School Days.
Nobody told you to stand in the hall either. Excuse me.
She also played Roxy Harvey in Dead Like Me and has appeared in several TV movies, both of the holiday and detective varieties. But did you know that, thanks to her role on A Different World, Guy became close personal friends with Tupac Shakur? Talk about networking! The rapper guest starred on the show in 1993, and the two became fast friends, potentially due in part to her self-titled debut album released 3 years prior. In fact, when Shakur was shot in 1994, he actually recovered at Guy's house. Later, she starred in his music video for the song Temptations. She even wrote his mother, Afena Shakur's biography. Guy was married 1 time and had 1 daughter before she and her husband divorced. Now 61, she's worth an estimated $4 million, in addition to being a well-loved member of sitcom history. Starring opposite Guy was her eventual on-screen husband, Dwayne Cleophas Wayne, played by Dwayne Hardison.
I love you, but if you ever tell me that you're not speaking to me for a week again, I will drop you like a bad habit.
The two had an on-again, off-again relationship throughout the early seasons until they were eventually married, though he proposed in an incredibly dramatic fashion.
To having a hole and richer for poorer, baby, please, please.
I do!
Hardison was 22 when he first appeared on the show. Now 57, he's had his share of TV roles since, like Casey's father in the Disney Channel show Casey Undercover, starring Zendaya, or on the short-lived Netflix show Teenage Bounty Hunters. He's guest starred in lots of shows like Greek, Parenthood, and Everybody Hates Chris. But fans of video games might recognize him from his role in Beyond: Two Souls. Hardison is now worth an estimated $2 million. He was married to Shantae Moore for 3 years, and the couple have 1 daughter together. She wrote the song Shantae's Got a Man about him. But his real-life relationship is nothing compared to his on-set one, and I don't just mean Whitley. In a recent interview, Hardison admitted that while he had to pretend to be in love with his co-star Jasmine Guy on camera, off-screen he only had eyes for one of his co-stars, Cree Summers, who played Winifred Freddie Brooks.
Great dingers.
Thanks.
Talk about a dramatic twist. The two were together for almost a year, and during that time, things moved quickly. They even walked several red carpets together. To this day, Hardison is still close friends with Daryl Bell, who played his best friend Ron Johnson on screen.
Your mother is so fat.
Bell was 24 when he played the heartbreaker and future godfather of Whitley and Dwayne's child. Though he was known for his diverse portfolio of on-screen relationships, in real life, he's been in a relationship with Tempest Bledsoe, the actress who played Vanessa Huxtable in The Cosby Show for 30 years. They were actually in a reality show called The House Husbands of Hollywood together for its very brief stint. Apart from that, Bell's acting career has been relatively limited. The actor appeared in School Days alongside Jasmine Guy and 3 episodes of the late 90s show Cosby. He also starred in the show Homeboys in Outer Space, though its run was limited. You may not know, however, that after his father's death in 1988, Bell was actually sued by his own family. His father, Travers Bell Jr., was the owner and founder of the New York Stock Exchange's first black-owned member firm. When he passed, his business fell to his son. Unfortunately, Bell was young and inexperienced with money. He ended up dropping his father's business value from almost $15 million to almost $1. His father's widow and his aunts were unhappy, and they sued him for negligence. In the end, the courts ruled that it was Bell's experience to blame, not any malicious mishandling of the money. Today, reports of his net worth are inconsistent, with some sources putting it at $6 million and others reporting $1.5 million. Lisa Bonet played Bell's partner's older sister, on screen at least. Best known for playing Denise Huxtable, A Different World was actually her spin-off show. She starred in the first season, back when the show centered around both her and her white best friend, exploring their friendship and the experience of a Caucasian woman at a historically black college.
Well, why not quit school? Now's a great time.
She was 20 when she reprised her role, but you may not know why she ended up leaving so abruptly after season 1. In the canon of the show, Denise dropped out of Hillman to travel around Africa. But really, Bonet had to leave the show because she and her then-husband Lenny Kravitz were pregnant with their daughter Zoe. Unfortunately, Bill Cosby didn't believe that people would realistically believe Denise Huxtable, someone with a set-in-stone good girl image, was pregnant so suddenly. He said that Lisa Bonet could be pregnant, but Denise Huxtable could not. So she was written off the show. This wasn't the first issue he had with the actress either. He also objected to her role in the 1987 film Angel Hearts, which contained some nudity and risque scenes. Now 55, Lisa Bonet is a relatively well-known figure if you keep up with celebrities. She and Lenny Kravitz divorced in '93, but from 2017 to 2022, she married Jason Momoa. Talk about lucky! The couple had 2 children together. Bonet has had a small acting career since her appearance in A Different World, including 5 episodes of Life on Mars and 7 on The Red Road, where she and Momoa met. She also had a recurring role in Season 4 of Ray Donovan. Her exact net worth is unknown, and estimations range from $10 million to $50 million, depending on the source. Bonet was relatively young compared to her co-stars, but Dawn Lewis was quite a bit older comparatively.
With more clothes than brains, who's going to be impossible for me to get along with?
She was 26 when she played Jaleesa Vincent Taylor, a business management major who worked part-time at the Hillman Library. She left the show after season 5 and seemingly disappeared from the sitcom without any explanation or warning. According to some sources, Lewis left over creative differences, but according to others, she left for a brand new role, Robin Dumars of the sitcom Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Unfortunately, she only appeared on the show for the first season before they decided to cut her and change directions. But did you know that Lewis was incredibly musically talented? The actress actually co-wrote the iconic A Different World theme song, and she co-performed it for the first season of the show. She co-performed the theme for the first season of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, too. And though her character was cut, they couldn't remove her influence from the show's first season. Now 61, she's been married once and is worth an estimated $4 million. Even if you don't know who Dawn Lewis is off the top of your head, you've almost definitely heard her voice work. Whether you have kids, enjoy animated shows, or play video games, you'll probably recognize her. She's played Storm in 3 separate X-Men games, Granny Grimm in Billy and Mandy, Grandma McStuffins in Doc McStuffins, Shiva in Mortal Kombat Defender of the Realm, and Hermes' wife La Barbara in Futurama.
Proud of you, Doc, and I know you're ready.
A Different World was an absolute hit. Lisa Bonet's mistreatment by Bill Cosby and other members of the production team is an absolute travesty, and it should never be forgotten. That being said, the sitcom tackled so many different issues that it's hard to ignore its cultural relevance. It's a time capsule of the times, just ready to be dug up, both the good and the bad.